Hey guys, how are you? It's Wednesday. Oops, sorry. I'm so excited. I'm shaking the table. It's Wednesday and it is coffee chat time with me. I'm Catherine Oster. If you have never seen me before, if you've never heard me before, my name is Catherine Oster and I am a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness, among many other things. I'm also a horse trainer and a mom and a bookkeeper. And, I like to keep myself busy with lots of different things. But I never get bored. There's nothing worse than, I don't know, being bored. And it's fun. I really have fun with all the things that I do. So how did I get so lucky? So these coffee chats are I just come on here and I talk to you about stuff that's going on in my life. And if you ever have any questions about anything, hi Jen! If you ever have any questions about anything or stuff that you would like more information about, please let me know because I am so happy to chat about that as well. So today, I don't have coffee. I have a bubbly, which is actually one of my newest favorite drinks. There's just a carbonated, bubbly, sparkling water that has a really good flavor. This is a strawberry one. I also really like the lime one or the cherry one. There's a pink grapefruit, which is weird, but yeah, strawberry is one of my favorites. Hi, Jen. Hey, guys. How are you? Okay, so today I actually wanted to talk to you. It's funny because I don't always know what I'm going to talk about. And I used to let that stop me until I didn't, until I just don't anymore. And so this morning I was even like, what am I going to talk about today on Coffee Chat? What's going on? And then I would kind of have a few different ideas in my head, and then nothing was ever like that. There's like this thing where it's just like, that's what I'm talking about. There was nothing like that yet until I literally got in the house like 10 minutes ago and sat down, grabbed my bubbly, and I was like, what are we going to talk about on Coffee Chat today? And decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, and expectations actually is what really popped into my head, which is not something that I was thinking about this morning. So, hi, Rabia. Hello, how are you? So that's actually been something, it's really big. It's actually a really big topic for everything. And it's something that's really been coming up for me lately but I just taught riding lessons on Monday in Lloydminster at a new arena with, a whole group of people. But it was funny because I was going to a different place. So I wasn't just at home. And there was a couple of new people that hadn't taken lessons before with me. And they were coming, and and there was this weird energy up for me, and I didn't really know what it was. And I'm like, oh man, everywhere that I'm deciding and projecting and expecting what this day is going to be like that was the weirdness about it. Because I actually used to travel to Lloydminster, a few years ago for a few years, like every week to teach lessons there. And then I built my indoor arena here and things changed. And then now I actually have like another group of people near Lloydminster who have been coming very regular for riding lessons. And during the winter months, it's not so easy for them to travel to my place, but it's pretty easy for me. I just jump in my truck and, I can go to one location and they all come with their horses. It's closer for them to haul. But it's a different arena than I was at before and different people. And kind of what was coming up for me when I was driving in was like what it used to be like, and I was making it weird. There was this weird energy, and I'm like, what is that? Like, I never used to ask that question before, but now I do, and I really like it. What is that? What is this weird energy going on? And I'm like, oh, it's a lot of projections and expectations and the decisions that I had about what it was going to be like and the conclusions that I had. And so I'm like, okay, cool. That's what it is. So I'm just going to clear those motherfuckers right now and get, that's not creating more for me. So a decision is when we've decided that something is going to be a certain way or that it's going to look a certain way. We've decided that something is this. It's a decision we've made. A judgment is where we judge about how something is or something isn't, or something is right or wrong or good or bad. That's a judgment. A conclusion is a conclusion that we have about, well, this is just it. Like, you know, a conclusion we can have is, well, money just comes into my life this way. That's a conclusion. Or a conclusion is, well, this is what I get. That's a conclusion. It's really a projection and an expectation is where we're projecting that people are going to be this way, that my husband is going to do this, or, you know, it's a projection. And an expectation is where, well, we expect it. Like, this is just going to happen. It's an expectation. And what happens is when we have projections and expectations of certain things, of people, and it doesn't show up that way, then we separate, judge, and reject ourselves or the other person. And that just makes it weird. And that doesn't create greater, and it's not fun. So what I started doing then on my drive was just clearing all of those decisions I had, all of the judgments that I had, all the projections that I had. So the clearing that I was running was all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations. That's the other one. A computation is where you figure it out, and where it's like 10 plus 10 equals 20, or if I do this and this and this is what that's going to create. That's a computation. So I was clearing like all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that I have of me with regards to teaching lessons at this arena, and all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that I have of all the riders and their horses that's coming to these lessons. I destroy and create all of those times a godzillion. And then I run the clearing statement, which is right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And if you've never heard that before, and it's weird, it is weird, there you can get more information at a website called theclearingstatement.com. Okay, so I started running those clearings, like clearing everything that I decided about myself and what it was going to be like to teach lessons there, and clearing everything that I had decided about the riders and their horses that were showing up and teaching them lessons there. So energetically just clearing all this stuff, and probably that also clears some of the stuff for the people that showed up too. So because when you go for a riding lesson or you go for a session of any kind, if you have any sort of decision about what that's going to create for you or about what it's going to change, if you have any conclusion about what it's going to change, if you have any projection or expectation, it's such a limitation, because anywhere that you could possibly exceed your expectation or exceed or receive something different than your conclusion, it's not actually going to happen because of your projection and expectation and your conclusion. And I kind of feel like I'm butchering this as I'm explaining it to you, but I hope you're getting a sense of what I'm talking about. So clearing them just energetically opens up the space so something greater can actually show up, and something that's more fun can actually become available, and another possibility can come into play. And so that was the decision. Yeah. Decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections. So I was clearing those. And then like the riding lessons were so amazing. I had so much fun. I mean, it seemed like the people who showed up had a lot of fun. The horses were good. And I think they had fun too. It was a really good outing for everybody. And yeah. And so now I've also got a class coming up on the weekend, starting on Saturday with a bars class in Marwayne, and then followed by a 4-day foundation class starting on Sunday in Marwayne. And there's people registered online already for the class. I'm so excited about it. And every time I think about the class, I have to catch myself. And I usually a clearing statement or start, clearing a projection or expectation that I had about the class in that moment that could create a limitation about it. Or, because as soon as we project and expect something, the energy gets solid and it's not fluid anymore. It's not flowing like a river, like it gets dammed up and jammed up. And then people get dammed up and jammed up, and people who maybe were considering about choosing it, maybe they won't, and they'll find a reason why, and because the energy is sticky and it's not really there for them. And I have this decision about the class and how it's going to be and the people that's going to be there, so that limits what can actually get created in a class. So I've been running all week all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that I have about this bars and foundation class coming up. I just try and create all of them times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. That really weird clearing statement, I know. And you don't have to understand it for it to work. And you can just say poc and pod for short speak for that. And it just clears all the energy that I have tied up around there. And then I actually find myself not going to thinking about the class, which is more space for me. It's more generative. Because when I think about something, I can literally feel like I think it to death, which I get, it does not create greater classes. When you think something to death, it's not fun at all. It makes it hard for me, and it makes it hard for the class, and the energy is just not flowing. Now, and another thing that I'll run is all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that all the people coming to the class have about the class and have about me. And everything that is right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Because then that energetically opens it up for them, without, it's like kind of playing magic and they don't even know it yet. And I ran that clearing a lot with my husband as well. So much, because I had a lot of projections and expectations about him and what he should be doing and what he's not doing and what he's never going to do and that he's never right. Like I probably was not a very fun person to live with, because I always projected and expected at him, and he would never do it. He would never do it. And I would get so angry because I had all these expectations. And then I would go to like the other end of the spectrum and be like, well, I'm just not going to expect him to do anything anymore. Like, that doesn't create greater for him or for me. What if he could just have a choice, So there were things like I wanted him to clean up his dishes after he used them. And I would really like him to hook up my horse trailer for me. And I had all these little things in my head that I expected him to do that I never actually asked him out loud, because he should be able to read my mind. Like, duh. So I would have these energetic projections and expectations, and he would never do them. And so I got this information when I went to a foundation class about projections and expectations and what it creates and how it creates people resisting you and reacting to you. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what I do with Travis. So I got this clearing, and I know it really well because I ran it a lot with him. So all of the decisions, judgments, conclusions, computations, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections that I have of Travis, I destroy and create them all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what started happening after a few months, it started to change. And he started to do things for me without me even asking him to, or I would actually ask him to, and he would be happy to do them. And so if he knew that I was going to a riding clinic or taking my horse somewhere, he started hooking my horse trailer up for me the night before. And I was like really shocked when he just randomly did that. Or I would come home and the dishes would be done and put away. And I was really surprised. And it was a really nice surprise. And I'm like, wow, this shit works. It changes things. And I'm so grateful. So if there's something here for you, listen to it again. You can write down the clearing. You can practice running it yourself if you like, and get your butt to a bars or a foundation class where you'll get more information about energetically changing and creating your life and creating a space for you to have more choices and create something greater. All right. I hope I did an okay job explaining it to you. Sometimes I get rambling and the words just fly out of my mouth. So have an amazing rest of your day, you guys. And I will see you for sure next week at Coffee Chat. I think I'll probably do it on the lunch break of the foundation class. That'll be fun. All right. Bye-bye for now. And thank you so much.